Good morning and welcome to another exciting week from Quarantine Central, otherwise known as my house. Let's talk real quick about your week and then we'll give you the notes for today. Everything this week is foraging related. I remember foraging is hunting and gathering. It's what the earliest humans did, and we did it for hundreds of thousands of years, so we actually got pretty good at it. Our tools and everything aren't going to advance that much, but we're going to get better at our skills. So today we're going to finish the notes on the Neolithic and Paleolithic eras, back when we were foragers. Tomorrow you're going to do an assignment that talks about the life of a forager and what their everyday life was like. And then Wednesday you're just going to do a kind of a wrap-up assignment that asks you 5 or 6 questions, and you're going to use your notes and stuff to answer them. So we'll give you a video each day. Tomorrow and the next day the video is probably only going to be like 3-4 minutes. Today obviously we have to do some more notes, so it might be a full 15-minute video today, and then you have a really easy quiz. So I don't expect you guys to spend more than certainly half hour in any given day. Okay, so today we're gonna do notes. So get those out, and then afterwards there's a quick open note quiz. Okay, it's done as a quiz, but you may absolutely use your notes for it, and it's just to kind of drive home all the stuff. It's a really short 5-point quiz. Okay, so let's talk about the Neolithic and Paleolithic era. So we last left off as human beings were foragers, and remember, forager is a hunter and a gatherer. They're people who live off the land. They are not producing anything. They're not creating anything. They are what we would call in an animal scavenging. And remember, humans are animals. We tend to use the term animal to mean something less than a human, but we are quite frankly animals. We're the dominant animal on Earth, but we are animals. And so foragers are not creating something new. They're not planting and working the land. They're finding their food, either in the form of hunting it, going out and finding an animal and working very hard to kill it. And some of these animals, as you can see, much bigger than human beings. So we have to be pretty clever to do it. Or we're gathering food, which is just going out to nearby areas where we know edible plants, seeds, nuts exist, and grabbing it and bringing back and eating it. Okay, there's no transformation going on. There's no planning going on other than, look, the herd moved, we better move as well. So on the early human beings living in small groups, getting by, and we're barely able to feed our people. Too big of a group means too many mouths to feed, and we'd either kill off the herd or gather more resources than are available and kind of destroy the area that we would normally live in. So we're keeping our groups small. Now what happens, let's say, if you have too many human beings to feed? Well, some of them would break off and just form a new group. You'd split in half. And that's how they kind of handle that situation there. And that's one of the reasons that humans spread across all the continents. It's because the human race is going to continue to grow. And when there's 45 people in your little group and you can only feed 30, 15 of them are going to break off and go find new hunting grounds and new gathering grounds, and that's how they're going to end up moving across the continent, as those groups splitting up. But if you had a good sized group and you had a great hunting ground and you had a good herd to follow around, you could exist that way for hundreds of thousands of years, and a lot of them did. All right, so that's how humans are going to live for hundreds of thousands of years, and because it worked, foraging sustained their needs. They were making a lot of advancements, and it wasn't a good life. It was a tough life, but it was a life. Okay, so they live in semi-permanent homes because they had to be able to follow the herd, or if the weather turned bad, they needed to be able to move and find new gathering grounds. Then eventually what's going to happen is we're going to start to farm, and the farming is triggered by a geological event. The last ice age, and as you can see, the glaciers of the ice age go down past Michigan. The Great Lakes were formed by carved out by glaciers retreating. But the last ice age, as you can see, froze everything pretty deep. And if you think about it, if this area is frozen, the area right next to it is not really suitable for humans either. Okay, so if this area is frozen, this area is going to be almost frozen, and there's not going to be a lot of plants and animals. You got to get a long way away from those glaciers in order to have area that's habitable or farmable, or any way you want to look at it. Then over the course of about 2,000 years, those sheets recede, Michigan shows up, okay, and much more area is farmable. Now, we're not farmers yet because we couldn't be, okay? But this kind of opens up some of this area for farming. And a lot of early human beings, if we go back to some earlier notes, most of those human beings lived around the equator, and they spread out around the equator because that was the only land that had enough animals and gatherable resources. So the Great Thaw is what this is called. It's the end of the last ice age. The Earth has gone through several ice ages. Ice ages can last hundreds of thousands of years, and then the time period between the ice ages can last hundreds of thousands of years, unless we find a way to screw it up and speed it up, which is kind of what we're currently doing. Is we're speeding up that next ice age. We would eventually go to a next ice age anyway, but we could be speeding it up by like 100,000 years, and making it come a lot faster. And obviously that's a problem because people live up here. And then remember, the area next to the ice is also pretty uninhabitable. So that's a real problem. So the hunting and gathering is mostly during the Ice Age, and that's why people lived in caves and stuff like that. They lived in areas that could be quite cold at night, quite warm during the day. This Ice Age had massive glaciers and ice sheets that made the Earth largely, not completely, but largely unusable. So the concept of farming wasn't even around because the land wasn't habitable for farming. There were large, herds of bison and mammoth, both of which can live in very cold environments that humans would follow around. But the Earth as we know it today didn't really exist. It was there, but it wasn't as we know it. The land was just kind of unusable in most places. So most of the land is tundra. Tundra is permanently frozen land. It has like conifer trees, if you think like pine trees and stuff like that on it, which aren't particularly usable. They're not fruit trees. They're not. They don't. I mean, technically, can you eat pine seeds? Yeah, you can. It's not great though. So about 15,000 years ago, which would be BCE 13,000 or so, the Earth starts to thaw, and that's just the receding of the Great Glaciers, and the Ice Age ends. And the result of that is those glaciers leave behind a lot of fresh water. Those glaciers leave behind land that's pretty fertile because that ice had a lot of nutrients trapped in it. And the temperature changes, and the glaciers shrink, and the sea levels rise, which means that the sea level rising also changes the weather. Okay, the weather becomes more, the seas are usually warmer for longer, and that can make the weather nicer, and it rains more, brings more fertility to the land. So we see at the end of the Ice Age kind of a different Earth, an Earth that is much nicer for human beings. The temperatures increase, not just human beings live, but like the animals we hunt are gonna change and multiply, and the land that they range on is going to get bigger. So the Earth can just support more humans. Okay, and we figure out during this time period how to start manipulating that land instead of foraging and gathering what we can find and scavenging. We're going to start planning ahead, and we're going to start figuring some stuff out. So the new plants and animals are sometimes more domesticatable, which is a really big word saying like we can tame them. Okay, the modern dog is a descendant of the wolf, and the wolf shows up around this time. Okay, the mammoths start to get smaller and easier to hunt because they're ranging farther and farther. So in this new environment, it's kind of almost made for the dominant species on Earth, humans, to flourish. It helped us get even better at what we do. Okay, so this thaw is the key event in world human history. Okay, without this, we would still be hunters and gatherers. So let's talk about the change. So we go from hunters and gatherers to farmers. Around 10,000 years ago, we start to gather in one place, and at first it's just figuring out, look, we're gathering the same plants over and over and over again, and we know these plants have seeds. Let's see if we can't cultivate those seeds. Let's see if we can make it more and more plants to gather. And at first it goes kind of okay. And then after a while, and by the way, we're going to be hunters and gatherers and farmers at the same time for a while, because those first farmers weren't just like immediately successful. They were trying some things, but still had to eat. So they were gathering and hunting at the same time. So we were foragers and farmers for a while. So about 10,000 years ago, we start learning to farm. And for a while, hundreds of years, we farmed and foraged. But then we got so good at farming that a lot of human beings stopped foraging and just farmed. Even those farmers would oftentimes hunt to supplement their protein supply. But a lot of them would just start domesticating their own herds. So they didn't need to hunt. They had a cow sitting right out there, or a yak, or whatever, that they could go slaughter. So sometimes they would hunt, but they weren't relying on the hunt. So this Neolithic, what's called the Neolithic Revolution, which, remember, Paleolithic meant Old Stone Age, Neolithic means New Stone Age, is really also called the Agricultural Revolution. It's when human beings started taming the land. We weren't just looking for stuff, we were creating. Okay, so the Neolithic Agrarian Agricultural Revolution, it's all the same thing, and it's the concept of us making our own food instead of kind of gathering it. So Neolithic means New Stone Age. It lasts from about 10,000 years ago to the Bronze Age. We're going to talk about the Bronze Age in a while. But they're still using stone tools. They're just using much better stone tools. If you look down here, they're using far more permanent, far more worked stone tools. They're using like large gathering things made out of stone or made out of clay. So we are not using metals yet, but we're getting way better and more sophisticated with our stone tools. And we're able to use those stone tools to work the land. Okay, these people are farming. You can see the rows. Those are clearly human planted. Nature does not plant things in perfect rows. If you're ever driving down the highway and you're looking off the side and you see like swampland and it's just blah, blah, swampland, and then all of a sudden all the trees are in rows, like perfect rows, that was not nature. Nature didn't do that. That means the human beings cut down the trees in that area, probably for housing or for ships or something a long, long time ago, and then replanted the trees in perfect rows. So this is farming, not foraging. And the Bronze Age is when humans are going to start using metals. And that's going to, once again, transform everything that we do. We're going to be farmers. We're just going to be really, really good at it. Okay. So the Neolithic Revolution is the New Stone Age. And what marks the New Stone Age is we're now farming, and we're using those stones to make farming implements. Instead of hunting tools and slaughtering tools, which we still need to slaughter animals, we're using this stuff for to work the land, and we're domesticating animals. You can see a pen being built back there. So we don't have to hunt. By the time we get to the end of the Neolithic Revolution, there are not a lot of foragers left on Earth. Most people are living in civilizations or in large cities where they farm. And that's going to take about 4,000 to 5,000 years. So about 250,000 years ago, we became kind of the current human beings. And for about 240,000 years, we were hunters and gatherers. Then about 10,000 years ago, 8,000 BCE, we became like full-time farmers. And then about probably 3,000 BCE in some areas, or 2000 BCE in others, we develop bronze and we become kind of almost modern human beings. Now, we don't have guns and stuff like that, but we're doing the job we do now. The tools we have nowadays are just really sophisticated versions of the Bronze Age stuff. All right, so that's your notes. Real quick, you need to go to, there's a Google form listed here. It is open note. Use your notes. Okay, 5 questions, real quick. Do the best that you can, get the best score. A 5 out of 5 would be great, and you should be able to get a 5 out of 5 if you use your notes, okay? And then hand that in, and you are done for today, okay? We'll get the rest of the stuff up later. Thanks a lot.